everyone, good morning. So today is filming day, and I have in mind the subject for the next video is going to be compression in audio again, but in this video I'm gonna make it slightly different. I have an idea to make it a little bit more visual, so you guys can see what's happening when we actually use compression. Another thing I was going to mention is I'm not sure if you guys know, but I also do my music production. My personal goal for this year was to put out a new track at the end of every month. Last month I missed this deadline for the first time. I did have the track ready, but I just wasn't happy of how it sounded, and I decided to just pull the plug and work on something new. For this month I'm trying to make a song from scratch, not using any samples. I'm just going to use MIDI and MIDI instruments, and honestly I'm already behind. It does take longer, and I'll do my best to try to reach my music production goal. Also, I feel that creatively I'm not in the best spot right now. Let's see if I'm going to manage to finish the track for this month. I really hope I am. I'm going to do my best. I'll see you all in a little bit.
So in this video we're going to talk a little bit more about compression, and I'm going to actually show you how changing the dynamic of a sound by using compression looks like. So you will have a fair before and after comparison of the sound uncompressed and then compressed. And I have two examples ready for you. In the first example, we're going to see how you can shape the tone and the overall length of a sound by using compression. And in the second example, I'm going to show you how you can use compression to position one instrument in your mix. Before we move on any further, I want to send out a special thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. Also, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Remember, the whole idea behind this YouTube channel is to help you in your music production and to make that process easier for you based on my experience and also based on the questions that you guys might have. So again, if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below and I will address all of them. Alright guys, so we are in an Ableton live session, and let's just go ahead and open the first example. I do have a sample that I picked. It's a basic cymbal crash and it sounds like this. There's nothing much to it. Alright, so let's explain what we actually hear and what we want to accomplish with the compressor. Also, let's go a little bit off topic. I do think that when we use compression, we need to compress for a reason. We need to already have in mind the result that we want to achieve. What we hear in the initial sample is a cymbal crash that has a lot of momentum, has a lot of energy when the initial hit happens, and then we can hear the tail actually decaying over time. So what I'm going to try to achieve is I'm going to take away the energy from the initial hit, and I'm going to leave the tail of the cymbal crash. This will help the sample have presence in the mix, but by lessening the attack, it will not have that percussive quality. So I'm going to use a compression by Isotope because it has a nice visual representation, and if you are not used to compression, this will show you exactly what compression does to the sample. And I'm going to adjust the parameters, and you will actually see in real time what compression does. So let's start playing with the sample. This is no compression at all. So as soon as I tweak the threshold of the compressor and the ratio, you can hear the energy being drained out. And you can also see in real time what the compressor does to the waveform. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the sample processed, and we're going to compare the waveforms of both signals. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so it's pretty simple in this example. You can see the transients in the first sample, which is highlighted in green, is more percussive, has more presence to it. You can see the initial hit, while in the second sample with the red color, you can see it kind of fades into the maximum volume of the sample and then slowly fades out. As I mentioned, what we're looking for in this example is to drain the energy out, so we do not take the attention of the listener away from other instruments in the mix. All right, now let's move on to the second example. And in this example, I'm going to try to attain the same results, but the difference is that I'm going to put the sample in a context. I'm going to add a drum loop, and we can actually hear how the attention is going to switch from the bass line, which we're going to compress, to the drums loop. So let's hear it how it sounds. This is with no compression. All right, you guys get the idea again. I'm going to use the same compressor. Here we go. So I'm going to adjust the attack and release time so that I have it to where the drum is going to be more obvious than the bass sample. So you can also play with the release time because that will allow you to have the compressor bite into that decay as well, to bite into the tail a little bit as well. So basically you're telling the compressor to, with the release, you're telling the compressor when to disengage once it has been enabled. Let's try to record the sample again after processing, and let's look at the transients, see what we actually did to the sample. Yeah, my bad. All right, let's have a look here. I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to change the color of the sample. It's going to be red again. Sorry about that. Okay. You can actually see the difference between the two examples. You can see the post-process sample in red. The initial transients when the bass hits are not that visible anymore. It's like we have legato notes right now. It's not like the hits are really distinguishable. It takes away the percussiveness and the presence, the energy out of the first initial hit, and this allows us to keep the attention and keep the focus of the listeners on the drums. Let's hear it one more time, and maybe I want to add a little bit of EQ just to take away the top of the bass. Yeah, let's add some EQ just for the fun of it. Let's use this guy, the Q3, our friend, the Q3. Okay, let's see what's happening. What I'm looking for is to get that crunch out of the bass. Again, this is just minor details, but I think that you guys get the idea. And there you go, guys. This was the second example, and I did try to give you a more visual on the before and after compression process, and to also give you an insight of what happens in a compressor, why we have those parameters that we need to tweak, why we use a fast attack as opposed to a slow attack, and why the threshold is important. Again, these are the parameters that you will encounter in any compressor. I just used the plugin from iZotope because it does have a really good visual representation, and if you are not really used to hearing compression, I think that this example will also help you get more accustomed to what compression does in a mix, and how you can use it to obtain the sound that you want to obtain. Alright guys, that was it for this week's video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it and that you got some useful information out of it. Remember, if you have any topics that are related to audio and you guys would like to have a discussion about these topics, please leave me a comment in the comment section below and I will get back to you. Also, if you guys are subscribed to my channel and you want me to give you a shout out, I will do so in my following videos. Just again, drop me a comment in the comment section below. It will be my pleasure to get to know you guys a little bit better. The whole idea of the channel is to create a community where people can get together and discuss various music topics, from production to plugins to hardware, anything that is basically related to music. Thank you to my subscribers. If you're new to the channel, please support me by hitting that subscribe button below. And until next week, thank you guys so much for being here and have a great day.